anyone can do CrossFit.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily for everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Talk Fit with Leander CrossFit. I'm Josh Day, level 3 CrossFit trainer, and this is
Rebecca Remus, also level 3 CrossFit trainer. So.
and owner.
And
Leander.
owner,
Yeah,
man. And we are like an hour, or not hour, a year past that process. That's kind of cool, man. So cool thing is we also have some coaches that are looking to go down that track. So something we pride ourselves in with the staff here is everybody's really bought into the credentialing process and the coach development. So and you'll notice that like, when you walk into these four walls, the education that's gone into and dedication that these people put into that hour that they give you, you'll see where it goes right away.
Yeah,
so
the care, the time.
Mm-hmm.
Over like 90% of our staff is level 2. So
that's pretty amazing. I like to boast that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
And I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's on Mike Rapp's radar already, but he's still fresh.
Live, but yeah, he's like, I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and Alyssa too. Yeah. She's also starting paramedic school.
Yeah.
I think that's a secret. Man. If it is a secret, now the world knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got great coaches.
Thanks so much for joining us last week. All the feedback. I appreciate everybody giving recommendations on future topics also.
Did you get some? Because I didn't hear any. So
good.
Sweet.
Jotted them down. But appreciate everybody viewing and just kind of sharing what's in our heart and the time and dedication we put into this. So if you want to like and subscribe as well, that really, let's grow this channel and see who else we can bring on with us. So what are we talking about today?
Today I want to talk about what it's like for grandparents and kids if they're out in the yard playing.
Yes.
What is the best way to keep them safe and motivated and moving? And I think we all know that answer already.
Yeah, I know.
Is it CrossFit? But what's the difference in CrossFit for kids, parents, grandparents? Why? How? All of those things.
Is it for everyone?
Everybody can do CrossFit.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyone can do CrossFit. I like to switch those words. Anyone can do CrossFit. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily for everyone.
Yeah.
You have to want to try hard, right? Like you have to want to work. That's a little different there.
Yeah.
You may not want that, but
cool thing, if you scroll on the socials and you'll see all the social media by every CrossFit gym around the world, you will see how diverse the makeup of all the classes are, from the early birds until late evening. You can't look at somebody and say like that is a CrossFit member of a gym.
Yeah.
Because we come in all shapes and sizes, different backgrounds.
Yeah, we do.
We all have different goals and what we're trying to achieve. So that's the amazing part about it. So and you can't really say that for every single like gym setting, but we pride ourselves on whatever we're presenting programming wise, we make it work for every single person that walks through our doors.
Yes. Yeah, we got an option. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I love that too.
Mm-hmm.
You look out there, and there are some gyms that focus a little bit more on a specific demographic of people, and that's fine. Great, do that. But we are a big melting pot of people here. Yeah. I think Pat Vellner, he's one of my favorite athletes. Like he on one of the documentaries was like, I'm walking down the street and people wouldn't know that I'm an elite athlete. Like I don't look like that, right?
That was his ongoing joke, and he's like, when he first came onto the scene of a competitive athlete, they're like, who's this like average guy that just stumbled onto the competition floor because he just didn't like a typical,
And that's the cool thing about CrossFit, right?
Yes,
we focus on that functional side. It's not necessarily the display. We don't look like bodybuilders, or we don't have.
When he's fully clothed, and he just can't. He's like just our buddies who's like an accountant or like he fits that. So
I love it.
So going into when I first learned about CrossFit, what I knew about it was it seemed to be the programming that was out there that was supposed to prepare our military and first responders. So when my husband actually found CrossFit For, I did, and he was a full-time firefighter at the time. So he would show on a shift, and there'd essentially be a whiteboard in their workout space, and he'd see like a workout, and he was learning what these movements were. He brought it home and started to get some equipment and doing it in our garage. And I, at the time, was doing P90X in our living room. I know. I was, I had a newborn, so I was in the safety of my living room doing these DVDs. And he'd be in and out of the garage in 20 minutes. Like, what? No, there's no way. No, you got to work out in like that short. But I learned about it. Social media wasn't a big thing even back in 2010. So it was like all word of mouth at that point. So we found at that point was CrossFit Leander. And like, sure enough, the owners, two of them were prior service, Chad and Dale, and then their buddy, Mike, who started off at CrossFit Central, which is like, I would say, the originator of CrossFit in our area here in Texas. One of the first of the, I think there was 05, I think might have been when they were established. But so that was an alignment that kind of checked out, and it was the workouts that were meant to test you more than anything that you've ever been exposed to, well out of your comfort zone. And their goal is to make you as fit as you possibly can, and all that entailed, like strong, fast, body awareness, body control, in free space. So that was my first exposure to it. And so that checked out. So I think less than a year, I got pretty curious on, because I wanted to live here, because I loved it. What the process would be to get into coaching. That's when you start getting into more of the CrossFit journals, and actually what the thought process was, the curriculum, and what Greg Glassman actually envisioned for what this was supposed to be and what his intent was. So,
Greg Glassman, if you don't know, is the founder, starter, created this CrossFit thing, defined fitness. Because if you look it up in the dictionary, haven't looked it up recently, but it was like the state of being fit. And what does that even mean, right? So Greg sat down and defined fitness and kind of launched this CrossFit thing. Not to cut you off, just for those of you watching that haven't heard of Greg Glassman before, coach, as a lot of original people call him, so fitness is kind of what he defined and launched this thing, and here we are.
So going into the journals, big thing that reoccurring theme was like, yes, this was originally for this group of people, these first responders, people that we relied on to be as fit as they possibly could, and that made them much more effective at their job, and could be ready for anything. If they were in a burning building, they could react and respond appropriately, because they've put themselves through these different scenarios and put their body through a certain stress, to where they automatically would, I've been in this uncomfortable feeling before. I've been deprived of oxygen and still was able to power through whatever the scenario was. So how does that translate to, these four walls and what we do? So,
what do we do? One of the big quotes that Greg has that you have probably heard or seen around if you've been around fitness CrossFit space is, the needs of an Olympic athlete and our grandparents vary by degree, not kind. So we all need to be able to squat. An Olympic athlete, specifically, we'll go weightlifter, they need to squat a lot of weight, both on their front rack and overhead. But my grandparents may only need to squat to the toilet, or even from this couch. Like, honestly, we've got a low couch here. And so standing up, that's that different by degree, not kind. They both need to squat. So that's kind of breaks that down a little bit.
Another example, the burpee, right?
Right.
Just
most functional thing we do.
They really don't need to do it as fast as some of them do it, but they do need to do it. That's how we stay self-sufficient.
Get off the ground. Yeah. Like that. That's what a burpee is. If you hadn't thought about that before, it's literally getting off the ground.
That's it.
And that's, and we can adjust that. I've seen great videos of older athletes, master athletes, using boxes to hopefully they've got something around if they need that. But if not, our goal is to be able to get them off the ground just from the ground. That's that kind of varying that by degree, kind.
So when you come into any one of our coaches are presenting the class, we see our different tracks, but there's a lot of responsibility. And I bring this up when I do roots onboarding for the members. There's a lot of responsibility that we put onto these coaches to get to know. And it helps if you're, you come to your regular class. Granted, some people are in shift work, so they'll come on different times throughout the day. But there's a lot of responsibility for them to assess the room and who's coming in. Granted, there's 4 tracks that we present for every workout. We try to present 4 tracks, but, depending on capability or where somebody's coming from, we need to be able to meet you where you're at. So we want to present the the intensity piece to it, but the relative intensity is like the key part to that, because by the end of the hour, our main goal is that we've challenged you, we pushed you past certain thresholds, but everybody feels the same exact way when they drive home at the end of that hour. So, cool thing is when you kind of assess in some of the rooms, we have people here that were actually collegiate athletes, highest caliber that you can see for human performance. And you have people that are straight off the couch. You have, members midday who are retired, and, it's just part of their routine. They're taking care of themselves, but are still very active with their grandkids, or, want to keep a certain level of fitness so they can stay self-sufficient. There's tea times they don't want to miss. There's, activity levels that they're not willing to compromise and let go. So they do these functional type workouts, so that they can stay as self-sufficient as they possibly can and active. Now you're starting to see the trend, and you'll see here, we've came off a really successful CrossFit Kids and CrossFit Teens, summer programs where their parents are seeing the value of what we present here, for their age. They're at this point, and this is kind of exciting and, gets me pumped up, is we are the foundation for what these kids will define as fitness and what they should be capable of doing. Just an air squat, and the cool thing is, like, when you see like Lakeland on her own will do an air squat, it's the most natural thing in the world, and it's beautiful. Her lines are, vertical shins. She's well below parallel without even thinking about it.
To be fair, her joints aren't all the way there yet,
right, yeah.
So she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, but as we get older, we just don't find ourselves in that position unless someone's directing us to do that. So if you don't, what is it? If you lose it if you don't use it or something.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
So where we see the ages 5 to 8, and then the preteens and the teens, good chance they have not been directed to put themselves in those positions. So that's where we come in, so that they can develop to what we want to see, a much more fit individual, and progress, so that they can better perform in whatever their chosen sports are. If they choose to performing type or participating type of sports, we get to be now that first touch point with them, so that ideally whether they're past their academic years and they're no longer doing organized sports, they have this desire to maintain this level of fitness for years to come. So
yeah. I love the kids stuff. Like I told people I was doing teaching the kids class this summer, and they're like, well, "What do you do with kids in CrossFit?" I was like, the same thing I do with adults. I teach them to squat. I teach them to clean and jerk. I teach them to do pull-ups. Like, we do all of those things. It looks a little different. The intensity is very different. The longest AMRAP we did, there was one that I let them pick the time. They're like, let's do 11 minutes. I was like, how about 10? Because it's a nice even number. And we're like 4 into it. And they're like, are we done yet? I'm like, no, we've got 6 minutes still. So yeah, the longest I tried to go, 6 was like the longest I picked for them, but it's a lot more game oriented. Like, even our workouts were like relay.
Yes.
Like, team 1, boom, here's the movements. You got to get through that. Go back, tag your partner. CrossFit baseball, we're swinging on ropes.
Yeah.
But we're having fun with it because we want to teach the kids that fitness is fun. Fitness is not a punishment. Not to tell you how to parent, but don't make fitness the punishment,
right? Because
then we're going to have an aversion to it when we're a teen or an adult. We want them to want to move because that's how we stay healthy. Like, it doesn't have to be CrossFit,
right?
It should be, but it doesn't have to be. And so we want them to like the things they do. So kids class, it was always funny. And people were like, "Oh, that, like, what do you?" I'm like, nothing different. Just like, we're using PVC pipes, but I put people on PVC pipes in my adult classes. Like, it was a blast. And then we get to go to the teens where we get to actually kind of have some barbells and move the weight a little bit depending on where our body awareness is.
Right. Man, it's such a, you never know.
Figuring out your body as a teen already is weird enough.
I know.
And learning, like, my legs way longer all of a sudden. How do I squat? But yeah, setting them up for success if they're playing sports, and then they'll see that this has prepared them for that.
Yeah. And those seeds are planted. This is the coolest thing. You'll walk in, especially when there's like a gaggle of these kids off to the side, all of a sudden you see them pull out whiteboards and they start writing workouts, and it's so cute because it's like little rascals spelling of what that's what they hear when they hear these words, but they start doing programming, and my thoughts like,
you
great.
actually just looked at my whiteboard.
Yeah, I know.
Spell.
My thought is,
no.
You see them write out, burpees and, different sprints or whatever with dumbbells. And my thoughts also like, oh, great, somebody else to give me feedback on programming. Like,
hey, Rebecca, my kid wrote this workout. It looks a lot better than what y'all have programmed. Can we do this instead?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not wrong.
No.
Those kids are,
No. And the cool thing too, so and I learned this too, like if somebody ever comes to the gym and their first exposure to CrossFit was what they see on YouTube, on ESPN,
so right? Yeah.
And say somebody does come and they're like, yeah, I want to do that. Cool. Great. You don't want to, break somebody's spirit. You have no idea what their capability is going to be. Because I know when I first learned about Bethany, she was a member at CrossFit Huddle, just a member, and she brought up to Coin Debbie at the moment, like, I want to do that. And so, yeah, she ramped up pretty fast. Like, oh, she's really good at this fitness thing. Yeah. And little by little, you saw her progressing. She took on, coaches. She was at all these local comps and like, who is that? She's very interactive, really, really sweet girl. But like never dismiss somebody if they had those aspirations.
That's right.
Also, don't be patronizing to, our grandparents and kids. When you see a squat, we just got done with a cycle that had a squat snatch. Our 70-year-olds are squat snatching. Yeah, they're legitly squat snatching, receiving the bar and meet the bottom of the squat. Okay. Don't ever patronize them and let them, tell our senior members that they can't do anything. Granted, we meet you where you're at. You may have issues in the beginning, just hitting full depth, but we take the steps that we can to get you to where you want to be. You see some of these younger kids that are getting into these local competitions, and the cool thing about little ones too is they can fall down, they bounce back up again. It's not the case for most of us, but it's
why they're so good at burpees.
Yeah, as long as we do our due diligence, try to meet people where they're at, and then try to present progressions. I think that is a great recipe for ensuring that we are all hitting the same exact stimulus of whatever it is the workouts presented to them. So
yes, all of our people hitting the same thing every day. You might not be able to squat to below parallel when you start here.
Yeah,
but we will be watching, and you will incrementally get there. There are several people when we started. I would even argue when we started that squat snatch cycle, they were not hitting depth and but we worked on it through that whole thing, and now we're crushing it. We're hitting the bottom of that without any question. Some questions, but most people, no questions. And I think a really cool thing about us, and not just us, but us as CrossFit is the why is so different between each person. And obviously the why with the kids and teens is very different than the why with adults, the parents, and then the why with the grandparents. And finding that out is part of what we do as coaches. If you've been around our space, you've met Terry, Terry. And I'm putting this out there. We're telling the world, she may not want it out there, but she texted me and was like, hey, do you think I can do this? Sending me the age group CrossFit games. And I was like, yep, let's do it. Let's put the work in. Let's make it happen. So Terry's going to the games in a year or two, probably two. We got to ramp it up, but she's going to do it. Right. And that's just like you said, we don't want to turn anybody away from something that they want to try to do. So if that's you sitting on the couch right now and you go and watch the CrossFit games, you're like, I'd love to do that. Come try us out. Well, we're going to put the work in. We're going to help you get the right coaching, the right stuff to drive for that. But if you're sitting on the couch, you're like, I want to be able to play with my grandkids when I'm old, and you're only 40 right now, get in here, because there are people a lot older than you doing some awesome stuff in our
We
walls.
want that for you too.
And that's why we're here, really. At the end of the day, we love the sport. We love the competing, especially us on this couch. We love the competitive side of CrossFit. But CrossFit is a longevity thing. Our goal is my goal at the end of the day is when I'm 70 to be out there squat snatching, just like our 70-year-olds that are in this space now. To be getting off the ground, to be running with the kids, not have any questions about that. And then all of that just sets us up for success with our health. Any health concerns that come up, we're going to be a step ahead because we've been taking care of ourselves for this long. That's the why I think is so fun and cool in this space, and why it is good for all athletes, kids, parents, grandparents.
We got it.
I think we did. That was good. Quick and easy,
Yeah.
simple podcast today. Just is CrossFit for everyone. Anyone can do it. Come on in. We do free classes. We do 2 free classes. If you're like new to us, checking us out, listening, come check us out. Saturdays are always free. Community workouts, really great. Cardio crew.
Head to our website. You'll be prompted right away to sign up for it. You're going to be contacted by Alyssa and soon Jazz. They'll meet you, ask some questions, let you know what the schedule is to see what makes sense for you.
Yeah. We've got a workout for everybody. 4 tracks. We actually have masters as well. It's just not like listed up there, but it's in the notes if you run. So, announcements to kind of wrap it up. I don't think we got nutrition challenge starts this week, Monday. So if you're not signed up, get signed up. You have till Friday, which is probably when this podcast will come out, honestly. So if you're listening past September 5th, you missed it. If you aren't, sign up. Barcode, teams of 3, October 11th.
Registration's already started.
Registration's going. We've got some teams in there. Put a team together. You don't have to be from the same gym. Mix and match, pick and choose. Make a team. It's going to be awesome.
Look for next week or the following week. Our program is going to mirror the Service Cup workouts. That's going to be super fun. Yeah.
Come in.
Yeah.
If you don't know about that, look it up. No, Service Cup, past couple of years now, it's an opportunity for service people to compete and advance, kind of like a mini games in a sense for those that compete different categories: police, fire, military. I don't know if there's veteran too. Anyway, there's lots of categories.
Yeah.
CrossFit trainers, we don't get to advance, but there's a category for us. So yeah, we'll be doing those. So you can sign up, get a shirt.
Yeah, I'm signing up. I like swag, so.
I know, I'm the worst about swag.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry. Let me lower that. Okay, cool.
I think that's it. This has been Talk Fit with Leander CrossFit. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, y'all.